To be honest, when I was actually in the court, not ever being involved in anything like that, I felt that it should never have been portrayed the way that it did, and I honestly believed that those lies that have always been told for all those years would not have carried on the way that they did. And for the police to stand up there and say blatant bare-faced lies, to me it was horrendous, and it was hard to be able to sit down in that court and not be able to stand up and call them liars, because we knew they were liars. And this very same for the ambulance, because to me they were all a big part of this cover-up, and the ambulances were never there to help our families, and to defend their actions was totally wrong.
Throughout the Hillsborough inquests over the 2 years we were sitting there, the barristers defending their clients, you know, tremendously violently, as I said earlier, and we were shocked, I think, at the time when we used to see it, because it was we thought these people were here to help us, and when they're sort of found wanting, they're not helping us, they help themselves.
There are others, such as Orgreave and the miners' strike, really highlight how easy it has been for public officials to get away with suppressing truth or distorting the truth for almost 3 decades over Hillsborough, and that's just simply unacceptable.
I feel if the Hillsborough law had already been in force and already existed, you know, whether it was years ago or whether it was just come into force before these new inquests, I think that it would have made the whole process a lot less traumatic for us. I think that we wouldn't have had to have been put through sitting there listening to these lies again, and I think that it probably would have given R96 the dignity that they didn't have in 1989.
If the government were not to turn the Hillsborough law into legislation, that we would most definitely have more cover-ups and more wrongdoing by public officials, because there would not be a duty of candour on them. There would not be any enforcement for them to tell the truth, or for them to give the information that families require.
For me, throughout the whole inquiry, I have always wanted something positive to come out of Vincent's death, and I feel that the Hillsborough law is something that we could, as families, be proud of, and will stand in the name of our loved ones.